So, as you may know, ever since the channel started, I've been doing the Dark World series, a series which is basically Harry Potter plus a bunch of other stuff. But another thing I also like doing when I'm not recording that series or any other videos is play Blox Fruits. So, here's a fun thing. What if Dark World characters had Blox Fruits? I'll just go over what fruit they'd use, why they'd use it, and just certain moves that they'd probably use. So first, let's start with the main man himself, Phantom. And yep, he definitely used Shadow. And there's many reasons for this. One, it and the Shadow fruit are both ghostly. Then there's also stuff like Phantom being black and purple, just like the Shadow Fruit's attacks. And also, Phantom's element that he uses, Death, is literally the exact same as the Shadow Fruit. As for moves, I'd say Nightmare Leech and Corvus Torment are moves that he'd definitely use, because they're the real death moves on the Shadow Fruit. But yeah, this was a super obvious one. Next, I'm going to do Lava Queen, and this one's a bit more tricky. There are two that she could definitely use. Magma, because she's literally called Lava Queen. Or Flame, because while she is called Lava Queen, she does use more fire-based stuff. But then again, her magic does spread a lot. And she also uses more physical attacks. So I feel like Magma would make the most sense. As for moves she'd use, I feel like she'd just use the whole fruit. Because there's not a singular move that would just fit her better than everything else. So yeah. Lava Queen would definitely use Magma. Now, we move on to Amy. And this is another obvious one. She would use the Sound Fruit, because she's literally a DJ. And plus, the Sound Fruit is pink, and her colour is pink. As for moves, again, she'd probably use the whole fruit, because the moves are also similar to each other in terms of looks. And they all have music notes, so it would just make a lot of sense. Then, next character I'm probably going to do is... let's go for Gullfish. There are many fruits that could probably fit his shark-like design, but he's also an ice golem, so it would make sense if he used the ice fruit. Although the only move you'd really use is Absolute Zero, because it's sharp ice spikes, which are kind of like the spikes, the spiked teeth on a shark skin. And also, I'd probably say that he could maybe use ice skating, because he is made of ice and probably will slide about, but maybe not, because he's actually quite slow. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to do Lava Queen's minions, and they're going to be very obvious. Burners would definitely get the Flame Fruit. Burn is literally in their name. As for moves, probably Blue Flame, Bullets, and Hell's Core, because that seems like the type of stuff that they'd launch out of their blasters. Splashers. Well, actually, this one's kind of hard because there's no clear water fruit. So, as much as it pains me, they're going to need to use the Spin Fruit. Listen, I know everyone's going to hate me for this, but It's all I got. As for moves, I forgot what Spin even does. But yeah, they probably just used the whole fruit. Maybe helicopter because, it's like a whirlpool, but whatever. Yeah, this was hard. Although I will say they could probably have a sword like the trident or something, because they literally wield a trident. Then freezers would have ice. I really do not need to explain this one, and they probably used the full fruit. Electro wolves and the shockers would both have rumble, because it's lightning. They probably use moves like Electric Flash and all the other electric moves. And actually, I think the Electro Wolves could actually have a fighting style, Electric Claw. Because, wolves have claws, and their claws are probably filled up with electricity. Gust, well, there's multiple that could fit. It's really between Spin, Falcon, and Rumble. But I'm going with Falcon because, yeah. And also, most of the wind moves are tied to the Falcon fruit, so it makes sense. Then Oozer. This was another hard one. Yeah. There's no slime fruit, so really all I have to really go off is Venom. They'd use Poison Daggers and Serpent's Wrath because those are the moves that really look and feel like slime. And yeah, I think that's me for the minions. So let's get back to more characters. Right, so Garrett Charles. If there was a science fruit, then he would definitely have that. But there's not. So I'm actually between 3 options: Rocket, Spring, and Barrier. I do not like Spring, so I'm probably going to eliminate that. And then Rocket just feels a bit out there. So I guess that leaves Barrier. Yeah, not too happy with this one. But there's nothing else that fits. As for moves, Surprise Attack, Barrier Prison, and maybe Stairs could work. Actually, yeah, I think that definitely works. Next, Albert Martinez. I do not know. What would actually fit a leader that isn't Leopard? Because while Leopard does fit a leader, it's probably a bit too overpowered. Actually, no. We're going with Leopard. It's probably far too overpowered, but this is just hypothetical. Next is Robin. I'd say that he uses Rumble. I could have chosen Quake because he has an Earth Golem, and the Quake fruit is basically the Earth fruit. But 1, I do not like Quake, and 2, Rumble fits because he works at the power tower. And their electricity is so strong that it can even control the growth of plants. So there you go. Right. Next up is Ghosty. And yeah, obviously Ghost fits. Ghost is in his name. Not only that, but the ghost fruit is green. Just like his powers. I could have also gone with the same fruit as the Splashers to represent how Ghosty drowned to death. But nope. Ghost just makes too much sense. As for moves, he probably used stuff like Wandering Souls and also the flight move. And also the cries of the underworld, because I feel like it best represents his power. Oh yeah, another thing, I could have gone barrier here to represent how he can block attacks, but I don't know. I just don't like barrier. I'm sorry. Right. So the next one that I probably do is oh yeah, applesauce. That is a very hard one. Like, what do I have to go off of? Like, he has stuff stored in his head. I have no clue what could represent something like that. This is arguably the worst one here, but nothing but venom fits. Because theoretically, if he used poison daggers, he could probably scatter all the stuff stored in his head everywhere. So I guess that kind of fits. I'm sorry, this character's just pure out there. And while he's a cool character, one of my favourites, he's just a bit odd. Alright, now we move on to Sakura. And without a doubt, she would use the love fruit. She heals people, she's extremely kind, and her and her father, Emperor Wong, are basically the only kind people in a line of corruption. And also, Sakura takes medical courses, so that makes a lot of sense. Next is I'd say next should be Sol. And while he's a really weird character, I feel like he should use the sand fruit. He lives in a place full of sand, and the building he lives in is made of painted sandstone. As for the movie news, probably Desert Blade. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Next is Lori, and while this fruit is really bad, I feel like she'd use Diamond. She's the one who placed all of the materials into the vault. Hell, she even built the vault. So why would I not give her Diamond? There's probably a lot of characters I'm missing, but I'll probably need to wrap up soon. Madame Gustella would obviously be Falcon, because all the wind-based moves are Falcon Fruit. Then Matilda Bateman Jr., the Vine thing, would very obviously be the Dark Fruit, because of the cruel underhanded tactics she uses, like ambushing and wrapping people up. I'd say Dimensional Slash would definitely fit her, because she was literally born from another dimension. Time Warpers were a bit hard, but I'd maybe go with Gravity. While the fruit's terrible, it kind of fits their whole interdimensional powers, and also it's a nice representation of the planet that Phantom got transported to. And then I think I might do one more. Which character should I do? Souls would have the ghost fruit, because literally nothing about them fits any other fruit other than ghost. Also same with the ghosts. and they'd probably use Cries of the Underworld and Lost Souls. Okay, thank God, that's me. This was a bit of a different video, but I think it turned out pretty good. Bye.